Welcome to Happy Wife, Happy Life. We're your hosts. I'm Kendahl Landreth.
And I'm Jordan Myrick.
And we're two incredibly unqualified,
but deeply in love comedians. We're here to help you with all things relationships. And today we're doing Holiday, Am I the Assholes? If you're not familiar, Am I the Asshole is a Reddit thread that got started because people would write in and say, am I the asshole for feeling this way or for doing this thing? And then people in the Reddit thread would let you know yes or no. And today we wanted to do some of these specifically related to holidays, relationships, dating, because the holidays bring out the absolute worst in people somehow.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I don't even think somehow. It's like, to me, it's so clear. You're forcing everyone together who doesn't want to be together. Family that you haven't seen and never see otherwise together in one room. You're all spending insane amounts of money. And for a lot of people, that's very stressful. And also you feel like you have just so much to do. Everything's so busy. Everyone's so high stress. And also if you're a parent, you feel this like need to make it magical for your children. And it's a lot.
I understand that. I understand needing to make it magical for your children. That being said, I think the rest of your family, no way.
I think I could not be a parent today and do Christmas. When I found out that Elf on the Shelf is a daily thing where you have to set up a diorama-like situation with this stuffed elf, that's hard to say, and make it seem like your elf swung down into the kitchen on toilet paper. Every day you have to do it. 30 days. Well, I guess till Christmas. 25 days. I'm like, that is a full-time job.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do Elf on the Shelf.
I probably would.
I don't like him.
Why?
He's giving like he sees you when you're sleeping, and I don't like that.
Well, that's kind of the point, is he's kind of like he's watching you.
I don't like that.
But I think people sometimes, if you're a parent out there, this is a new segment I'm starting
called Kendahl's Parental Advice.
Kendahl's Parental Advice. She has no kids and she doesn't know what she's talking about. That's the theme song for it.
I love that little sting you made up.
Thank you. I feel like so much can be magical for kids. You don't have to try. You know what I mean? I feel like you hand them a plastic bag and they're like, I will remember this forever. Especially around Christmas time. Everything feels magic around Christmas time.
Yeah.
Anyways, I think you're right. With family, there's so much pressure to spend so much money on these people that you don't even like. Especially when we get into like, oh, it's not a family member, but it's one of my kind of family members, like an in-law's aunt whose cousin's throwing this party. Make sure to get her a huge gift basket.
You don't need to go to that.
What?
You don't need to go to that. You don't.
So it's hard. There's a lot of like tradition also around holidays, which I think heightens people's emotions. There's a lot of like nostalgia, which heightens people's emotions. And there's a lot of like, missing the old. I think there's just a lot. It's too much.
Yeah.
When I hear my friends' stories around the holidays, it's the craziest stuff I've ever heard.
How do you think it should be split up in terms of if you're a couple? How do you do holidays?
Well, I don't even know if I'm one to give advice. I think both our families are pretty, what?
Yeah, we're probably not ones to give advice in general, but here we are with this podcast.
I just think on this specific thing, I feel like you and I, we're really lucky. Our parents are very chill. And also, we're not coming from families, my family loved Christmas, but some families, it's like, Christmases, there's 60 people coming into town. Every year they do the same 60 things and they have all these traditions and they do a family photo together, a professional family photo. It's like a big thing. So there's a lot of pressure on it. So I don't have experience coming from that family, but I think, just try to be fair and set boundaries with your family. I think you have to remember that telling your parents you're not coming home for Christmas isn't like the craziest thing in the world. I think people are like, this is the meanest thing I could do. And it's like, no, they have to learn that eventually you will have your own children maybe, and you will want to do as they did and have your own Christmas morning. And just remember to have your own boundaries with it.
It's not even Jesus' real birthday.
Damn, because his birthday's in August, I heard.
Did you hear that because your birthday's in August?
Yeah, a little birdie told me.
He's a Leo, like Kendahl.
Leo. I mean, like, come on. Of course he's a Leo. His dad is the sun, right?
His dad is the son?
Who? I don't remember.
What are you talking about?
I went to Bible school when I was 5, so let's just. I'm still. That's what I remember.
You mean the sun in the sky, or the sun?
Oh, maybe he's the son of God. And
What
that
did
makes
you
me-
mean just now?
I think I was picturing. Let's just move on, okay, guys. Let's just move on.
Did you just find out now that Jesus is supposed to be the Son of God?
Right. No, I knew that, but I think I also separately was kind of like somewhere there in there, the sun is involved.
You thought Jesus was the sun in the sky.
Right. So, right. And you know what? I have other attributes that are very wonderful, but I did maybe think that briefly.
So you thought he was a literal son
Okay.
in two different ways.
Cool. Let's just be
A son of a man and the sun in the sky.
Okay. Yeah.
Do you think Christians worship the sun?
I don't. Do they? I don't know. I don't know. Now we're mixing science and religion, and I feel scared.
The sun is science.
So I don't even know if they believe in the sun. I have no idea. Let me ask you before we get into this.
Yeah.
Because you jumped right in before I even got a chance to ask you how your week was.
I know. Sorry. I just have a lot of thoughts about holiday time. And I am excited because we're about to go on a big holiday vacation.
Woo-hoo!
So no episode next week because it's the week of Thanksgiving, which we don't care about. But a lot of people have off work. A lot of people are traveling, and we are also traveling. We are going to Europe for 2 weeks.
I'm so excited.
It's going to be incredible.
Excited. This feels like, I feel like I'm not even going to feel like it's real when we're there because truly we've been planning this trip. Jordan has been planning this trip, but I've been excited about this trip for 2 years now because we were supposed to go. I'm sure we've already explained this, but I'll do it really fast. But we were supposed to go on this trip when we were going to get engaged. And then Jordan had to have a foot surgery, so we didn't go. And now we're going. And so I think we've been like
I couldn't
pushing
cancel anything. I could only reschedule. They wouldn't let me cancel.
But I'm glad for that because now we get to go. But it feels like this thing I've been anticipating for years where I'm like, well, soon we're going to go to Berlin and right? Yeah, Berlin and Copenhagen. Sorry, Jordan plans it. So I'm like, where are we going? And now it's really happening. So that's really exciting.
I'm glad you're excited.
I'm so excited.
Makes me happy that you're happy.
Oh, you want to know something exciting going on in my week?
Sure.
I'm having a lot of fun on my little app. I've been playing a farm game.
Kendahl is obsessed with these games where you farm on your phone or on your Switch. I do not understand
It's similar to Farmville, if you ever played that on Facebook. It's called Heyday. It's funny because this is not sponsored, but that's how I found it, is I did a branded video.
Kendahl was hired to do a brand deal for this app, so she played it to see if she wanted to do the brand deal. Now she won't stop playing.
I'm addicted. I'm literally addicted. So I've been playing that, and I've started, I have a lot of pigs. I have cows on there, chickens. I have sheep. I'm about to get a goat, and I have a horse and 2 dogs, 2 cats.
One thing I need to know from y'all, and you can leave it in the comments, if you own land, if you own farm associated animals, what's it like? Do you like it? How hard is it? Could we do it? Because
Yeah.
Kendahl is obsessed with the concept of getting some lamb.
I really want to get
lamb.
Well, you can get lambs too.
I meant to say getting some
too.
land.
I'm obsessed with getting some land. I am, and I'm obsessed with having animals. But what I want to differentiate is I'm not trying to homestead. Like I don't see that in my future, and I'm not interested. I would like to do like a 5% homestead where I get everything from stores, but then I get, eggs from my ducks. I have cows that kind of graze, and so I don't have to mow the lawn. I compost, and then I don't know how this works, but I give it to my pigs in their slop.
We grow tomatoes.
We grow tomatoes. You grow food, like you grow vegetables, but it's not like we're not making, butter. I mean, that's not that hard, I guess, but I don't need to do that. We're not making everything, but we have a lot of land. I love the idea of having like 12 dogs.
But we're city girls.
And I want it to stay that way, but I don't want to be like homesteading. I want to have like a city girl life, but then I have a lot of land with animals because I really like taking care of animals.
But does that exist? Can you have a city girl life?
I don't know. I think so. I've looked on Zillow, and there are places where there's a lot of land. What I don't know is the laws in those counties, which is what I would have to look up. Even though on like a lot of the places on Zillow, first of all, any place in California that's like in Southern California with a lot of land is like $13 million. So we'd have to really save up. But if we were able to do that, there's definitely enough land to have livestock, but I just don't know if in those counties you're allowed to have livestock.
Sure, because you can't own farm animals everywhere.
No, I think you can own a pig. I feel like pigs are weirdly kind of like allowed a lot of places. Like you knew a woman in New York that had a pig.
I don't know if it was legal, but there was a woman that lived in my old neighborhood that owned a pig, and she would walk it around, and it would wear a tutu, and she'd walk it on a leash. I don't know if he was happy. I don't know if it was legal.
I'm wanting that kind of a situation. But I want my animals to have, I want them to be, I'm not trying to like cram any animal into a small area. I'm trying to like have a lot of land. I would love to have a horse, but I would love for them to be able to, really run around. Some horse owners are going to be like, no, they don't want to do that. I have no idea. I haven't done my research yet. Before I did all this, I would do a lot of research.
But that starts with you dropping in the chat if you think we could do it.
Yeah, I want to, advocate for myself that first of all, I spend a lot of time with my animals on Heyday, which is my farming app, and I'm really good at taking care of them.
I can't believe they're not sponsoring this episode.
I know. I mean, I do really love the game. So I'm not going to lie. I'm sorry. I'll give free sponsorship if I love it. But what I will say is like, we have a dog and I love taking care of our dog. Like I really find joy in it. Like I love, and I know that's a smaller physically than a horse for sure, but it's
I understand that a dog is smaller than a horse.
That a long-haired chihuahua is smaller than a horse, but also there's less care. I know that. I really just have to feed her and bathe her sometimes. I have to feed her every day and then I have to bathe her sometimes.
She's a diva though.
She is a diva, and I love, like, I buy all the little mix-ins for the food. Whenever I give her a bath, I don't just give her a bath. I do a shampoo, a deep conditioning treatment. I do a foot treatment. I cut her nails. I blow dry her, and I do a spray conditioner after, brush her teeth. Like I really enjoy taking care of animals. I think it's so fun, and like you get to talk to them the whole time. And then I see these videos of people brushing horses and it looks so satisfying. And I think if I
volunteer at a horse place.
I know. Well, right. And that's what I think my first step would be before I ever considered, like I view getting farm animals as a real long haul thing. Like to me in like 15 years I could see myself like us really being like, okay, let's think about getting farm animals. I am just like my dad. My mom, if my mom is listening to this, she's going to be like, oh my God, because my dad.
This is so funny because last episode I said something and was like, I have turned into my father.
You can't help it. You turn into your parents. And my mom would always make fun of my dad because my dad is the biggest city guy. Like he didn't go outside. I don't have one memory of my dad and I outside together. Like we were always inside. And like he liked animals fine.
I mean, your dad's favorite thing to do is DoorDash Burger King.
100%.
That's
like
city life.
He's not made for a farm, but he always was like, my dream is to own a farm. My dream is to own a farm. And now that's me, which I think is very funny. But I really think I could do it. But to me, it would be like before I thought about getting a farm, I would first of all take horseback riding lessons. That's more just for fun. But then like volunteer at a horse place and like learn how to take care of them. I don't know.
A stable.
A stable girl. Oh my God, I'm gonna get rider's boots. Tight pants, high-waisted pants. Oh my God. A little hat. Oh my God, I can't. I'm so excited.
Hat?
I don't know.
What kind of hat?
Horse hat. A little horse ears on it.
It looks like a horse. Makes you look like one of the horses.
So they think, oh, that's another horse. Don't worry. She's another horse. Don't kick her in the face. So I would start volunteering there, learn how to take care of horses, maybe, take a class on farm animals. I would do a lot of work to like get prepared for it. What I'm not doing is the food. I have no passion for taking care of food, so that's more your thing.
Sure.
But I think that's good because nobody can take care of the food.
I thought you were saying you were going to feed the horses. What I'm not going to do is take care of the food for the horses. That is boring to me.
They can go to a restaurant. Because I'm not doing it.
You can tell we're in a goofy mood today because our southern accents are alive and well.
I think it's like my natural accent, actually. Sometimes I'm like, do I put on a California accent?
Well, because we both have parents that have southern accents.
Yeah.
Do your parents think they have southern accents?
I mean, they know they have southern accents, so I think it's like, yeah, they wouldn't be like, no, I don't.
My parents don't think they have southern accents.
That's insane.
I don't think my parents have a southern accent, but everyone tells me the contrary.
Well, I don't hear my mom's southern. I don't hear my dad's southern. I don't hear it as strong as it is. Your
dad's is stronger than your mom's.
Right. I could hear my dad's southern accent, but then I wouldn't think of it as really anything. And then when people would meet my dad, they would be like, oh my God, he sounds like a real deep southern accent. And I don't hear that. And then my mom's accent is similar to mine. I feel like will come out.
Yeah.
Because she lived in the South her whole life.
It also comes out more like if you're around people that
when
have
she talks
the
on the phone.
Yeah,
if she'd ever talk to my Aunt
grandma,
Rose, she'd start, talking like this. But anyway, so let us know if you think we should own a farm.
Yeah.
And then we can throw a big holiday bash on the farm.
Let's get into the questions.
Was that a good segue?
I think it was great. I think you're doing perfect.
Okay, so now we're going to get to the questions. And if you are like, I want to ask a question, these aren't really questions. These are people sending their Am I the Assholes in. Scenarios in that have happened to them. If you're like, I had a great scenario I would love to send in.
I want to know if I was the asshole.
I want to know if I was the asshole. Follow us on Instagram because we always post the questions there. And we also post them on our Patreon. We got a lot of fun stuff going on over there. So.
And in 2025, our Patreon, we're having some new stuff implemented.
It's getting a little wild over there.
Also, we have a lot of new stuff coming in 2025 in general.
I am excited.
Because we have some big news coming soon. So everyone just get excited and stay posted.
It's like so annoying for us to... We can't share it yet, but it's coming.
It's exciting.
I love it. It's really exciting.
Just know that there's new fun stuff coming for you as listeners of this podcast, both on Patreon, but also on everywhere else.
A lot of people are saying 2025 is kind of the year of Happy Wife, Happy Life.
That is
I saw that listed in multiple articles.
I saw that listed in a bunch of articles. I saw a billboard that said that.
Yeah, I saw a billboard, and we didn't pay for it, I swear. Okay, what is the first Am I the Asshole?
Am I the asshole for not getting presents for those who have wronged me?
No. First of all, I don't think you owe anyone a present. I think the present thing, if you want to give a present, then give a present. But anytime I give a present, I'm excited to give a present. I literally never think about someone giving me a present in return. I have a hot take. I'm not one to usually give a hot take. I think if your love language is gifts, something's wrong with you.
Okay.
I understand.
Giving or receiving?
Receiving.
Okay.
I think if your thing is like, I need big gifts. I need gifts. I guess I understand. I get if you're like, it makes me feel really cared about when someone sees something that reminds me of them and gets it for me. That makes me feel cared about. Makes me feel cared about too when I receive one. But to be like, I expect you. If you love me, to get me a gift, it feels a little weird to me. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. It feels funny that it's on the same level of like time spent
Yes.
and words of affirmation.
Right.
And gifts. Like it feels, to me, it feels a little, I understand people liking it. I really like giving gifts.
Me too.
And I like receiving a gift from someone that I like or someone who seems excited to give me a gift. But I think to be like, between spending time together and gifts, I guess I'm going to have to go with gifts feels interesting to me.
And maybe I'm saying this because we were just watching Love is Blind and there was a girl on there who was like, well, I need a fancy purse. And he was like, well, what's a fancy purse? What did he say? He was like, Kate Spade. And she goes, please never get me a Kate Spade. And I was like, this. And she said, my love language is gift giving. And I guess to me, if your love language is gift giving and you're like, I love a handmade gift or something that you spent time, that I guess makes sense to me. But if you're like, my love language is gift giving and I want luxury items, I think something is wrong. I think you're like using love languages to be kind of really weird and mean and materialistic. And then she's like, I don't want to be materialistic. But I'm like, you are.
Yeah.
You want a Louis Vuitton purse? This man didn't even know what Louis Vuitton was. He said he was like, what's Louis Vuitton?
Yeah.
And I'm like, instead of like spending time, anyways, whatever.
They weren't a good couple and he wasn't good. We haven't finished the season.
No, we haven't finished it. So maybe there's...
Sorry.
I'm not saying she's a bad person. I just think it's like a lot to be like, I expect big gifts. Anyways, my point is during the holidays, I'm like, I love to give a gift, but I never expect anyone to give me a gift. And I never give a gift with thinking that person is going to give me something because oftentimes it is just something reminds me of them. So sometimes like there'll be someone I'm pretty close to that like I don't get a gift because I didn't see anything. But randomly there's this person I met 3 times and I'm like, oh my God, I saw the perfect thing for you and I got this for you. I am absolutely not expecting you to get me something.
Yeah. Why are you even friends with somebody that's wronged you? Why are they still in your sphere? Don't just get rid of them. If they really wronged you, go stop talking to them.
I really can say that we don't have a single friend that we don't like. And I know that sounds like obvious, but I think I'm coming to find that a lot of people have many friends they do not like. And I find that to be truly bizarre.
Yeah, couldn't be me.
But no, you're not the asshole.
Yeah, don't get them a gift and stop spending time with them and stop talking to them. And I don't care if it's like, if they really wronged you, if they really actually wronged you. So if the thing is valid.
Like a friend smacked you across the face.
Sure, that could be one of them. But if someone really like hurt you, stop talking to them. Stop being friends with them. Why would you also get them a gift? That's wild to me.
But I also think it's like, we put the stress of holidays on ourselves. And I know people in my life where it's like they, are stressed about money and they're still like, well, I have to get every person I've ever met a really nice present. And I'm like, you really don't. If that stresses you out, that's not a gift to anyone.
Yes.
If people really care about you, they don't want you to stress like that. And unless they are, in which I wouldn't hang out with them, if they're giving you a gift in hopes that you give them something in return, that feels weird to me.
Yes.
So I think just try to be like, how can I enjoy the holidays for myself? How can I enjoy this experience? And what about the holidays is really stressing me out? And then remember, everything you're listing is actually optional. And you actually don't have to do it.
Yes, I agree.
Because I feel like the holidays will be like a woman literally being like, I am just like, I need to go to the hospital. I'm so stressed out. And I'm like, well, what's going on? She's like, well, I need to make homemade cookies and I need to make a wreath for the part. And I'm like, all of this is the most like random, like you absolutely unnecessary stuff. You don't have to do it.
Yeah, I also see a lot of couples where, like, let's say it's two people. One of them is like, we have to go see my family for Christmas. And they're like, but my family is like really racist and homophobic. And like, you're a gay couple and like your partner is black. I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that to your partner. That's my personal opinion. People will disagree with me. That's their business. For me, I would not put a partner in that situation. I would not want to be put in that situation. You don't have to see your family. And some people will say that's a privileged take. And I understand that. I understand that all cultures are different. Not everyone is the same. For me, why would you be nice to someone if they are not nice to you? And I think that includes your family.
Yeah.
If they are not nice to you, if they are not kind to you, if they are hateful towards you, I just am not going to spend time with them. That's speaking from personal experience. There's a lot of my family that I do not associate with at all. Does it sometimes feel like a bummer that I don't have a bigger family? Yeah. Is it worth me spending time with people who actively do not treat me kindly or actively think that I am bad and wrong in so many ways for like the fact that I'm gay or whatever? No, that's not worth it to me.
Yeah.
So I agree with Kendahl, saying a lot of holiday stuff is made up. It's like, don't put that pressure on yourself. Right. I know so many people are dreading going home from the holidays because of the election. For me, I'm just like, hey, if you don't have to go home, don't go home. Take yourself on a vacation instead.
A lot of parents, I think, can be a bit toxic about, and this is why I hesitated to say I should give advice on this, because I think our parents are absolutely not toxic in this way. But I think a lot of people's parents can make them feel like coming home from the holidays is such an obligation. It is so blasphemous that you wouldn't come home for the holidays. It is so mean and it is bizarre. And how could you even do it? Because everyone comes home for the holidays. A lot of people don't go home for the holidays. It's actually really normal. And I think, if you love doing it, that's awesome. But I love going home for the holidays. I absolutely love doing it. I still don't do it every year because we are busy adults that have a lot to do. And
it's also expensive to travel during the holidays. I'm like, especially if your family is not paying for you to travel. Right. If you can't afford to travel, they should not guilt you for that.
Right. And you have to like set, but to say that I'm like, if I had the choice, I'd always go home I love going, and we're going this year and I'm so excited. I love to go home for the holidays, but even I have not spent every Christmas at home because, we're like, we have our own life too. And and I think with some people's parents, sometimes I'll be like, well, how many times have they visited you? And they're like, literally never. And I'm like, that's like that's a standard that's been set that they can guilt you. I was talking to someone a while ago, I can't remember, but they were like, my parents are always like, you never visit enough. And they were like, and I visit 5 times a year. And they lived across the country from their parents. I was like, that is unacceptable.
Yeah.
Someone needs to tell your parents that they need to zip it because that's absolutely wild. So I think sometimes the first cut is the deepest. But that first time being like, I'm not coming home for Christmas this year because I'm too busy and I want to stay in my house with my partner might suck and there might be drama, but you've just set a precedent for the rest of your life that you decide what you do and you also love them very much.
Yeah. I think the reciprocation thing is big because I realized a couple years ago that some of the relatives that I call, check on, care about, never called me.
Right.
Never checked on me.
And what do they always say when you call them?
Oh, you never call.
Right.
You've literally never called me once. And it made me kind of realize we're all adults. If we're all adults, I do believe the phone works both ways. If we're all competent, capable adults, why am I supposed to call you all the time? Why would you never call me? Why would you never check in on me? Why would you, So I'm just like, I think family is what you make of it. And I think my parents practice that. So I also think I've been grandfathered into that belief system.
Yeah.
But I have so many people that I'm not literally related to that are my family so much more than people that I am actually related to.
Yeah.
That's my personal experience.
Totally.
So, and that might not work for everybody.
Yeah.
You might say, that's not how my culture does it. I don't believe in that. That's great. I respect you and whatever you do. But if you're sitting there being like, I really want to cut out some of my family, but I am scared and I don't know if it is okay, if it will be okay. From someone who has done it, it's okay. And you'll be okay. And your life will be better.
Yeah.
You will feel more valid by surrounding yourself with people that genuinely care about you. It'll make your life so much better. So I encourage you to do that if it's something you're considering.
I love that.
This next, am I the asshole? My partner and I have been together for 3 years. We live together in a town that is...
You could say in a tent.
We live together in a tent. Help us. My partner and I have been together for 3 years. We live together in a town that is 3 to 4 hours away from both our families. She can't get time off from her job to travel home for Christmas, so I was going to stay at our apartment and spend the holiday with her. My family is going to be upset with me for not coming home to see them for the holidays. But my girlfriend would be alone on Christmas if I did. Am I the asshole? No.
No, I mean, we're parroting what we just said, but it's like, I mean, do what you want to do. So it's like, if you're like, I really want to go home, your girlfriend will be fine for Christmas. If you want to stay with your girlfriend, do that. It's what you want to do. And if your family will be mad at that, it's okay, because they won't be mad forever. And if they're mad forever, that's wild.
I'm also kind of like, prioritize who needs it more. If you have a single mom who never gets time off and she's single right now because your dad passed away last year and this will be her first Christmas alone and she really needs you, yeah, maybe go home. Maybe it's time to go home and your girlfriend will understand. If your parents have a million other kids and you're just going and they're basically already kind of having a party,
Right.
And if you don't stay with your girlfriend will be alone, stay with your girlfriend. I'm kind of like, who needs it more? I think if you take yourself out of the situation because you're like, I can't decide what I want to do. I think go with whoever needs it more. But I think either way, you're not the asshole.
Yeah, I think that's, people put so much pressure once again on Christmas where it's like, or any holiday, I feel like any holiday, honestly, where it's like, well, but then she'll be alone. And this is not even at your girlfriend. This is either your girlfriend or your parents. They'll be alone. And it's like, they're okay.
Actually sounds
okay.
kind of nice to spend Christmas alone.
I'd give anything.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
good.
I love you and I would spend every second with you if I could. But if you were like, I'm going to go do Christmas with my mom and I had to stay in LA because I booked something or whatever, Christmas Day, I would DoorDash Chinese food. I'd watch Nightmare Before Christmas. I'd put 1,000,000 blankets on the couch. I'd turn the AC down to 64 degrees.
You put a Santa hat on Angel?
Put a Santa hat on the dog. And I would just relax. Like, that is nice. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, totally. So I think it's like, you're not deciding the fate of two people. You're deciding whether or not you're going to be present for Christmas Day. It's really okay. But I think people can make you feel like, oh, not coming home for Christmas. Not coming home for the holidays? And it's really not that big of a deal.
Yeah, the likelihood of you being able to come home for the holidays for every single holiday for the rest of forever is very, very unlikely.
Well, because what's the plan? What's the plan? You're going to do it forever? And I think I always, I will ask people who are like, well, my parents are really insane about me coming home for the holidays. And I'm like, when you were a kid, what were holidays like? And it's like, well, we'd wake up and we would open presents and then we would hang out at the house all day. And I'm like, great. So your parents didn't go see their parents for the holidays.
They stayed
is what I'm
home
hearing.
in their home
with their husband and their children. And for some reason, because you don't have kids, it's not being valued. Or sometimes you do have kids and they're still like, you need to come visit me. And it's like, at a certain point, you got to cut the umbilical cord. And I don't even mean from you. I mean like your mom. I know it's the same, but your mom you need to cut, as if your mom's a baby, you got to cut the umbilical cord.
Treat your mom like a baby.
Treat your mom like a baby.
Also,
and say no more.
They can come to you. I said the phone works both ways. Planes work both ways.
Yeah.
They can come visit you. I think that's great. I think everyone should be doing what makes them happy. And that happiness has to be found within.
Ooh, I love that.
I got a nice little long one here.
Here we go.
I have been invited to a white elephant style cookie exchange every year since moving to Los Angeles with some transplants who don't travel back to their hometowns for the holidays. However, because it's Los Angeles and I work in the entertainment industry, everyone always brings these god-awful cookies with no sugar or gluten. If it was a genuine health concern, that'd be one thing, but it very clearly is people who are terrified of gaining weight. I always bring buttery, sugary, delicious Midwest family recipe cookies. And they're always a hit that people fight over. So whoever wins my cookies is usually the happiest. Meanwhile, my only option is to go home with a box full of cookies that taste like the feeling of saying bah humbug. I love hanging out with friends for the holidays, and I love how excited my cookies make all of them. I'm thinking this year that I'm just going to gift people cookies and bail on the party because I would rather have a stocking full of coal than feign appreciation for winning another zero sugar snickerdoodle I'll begrudgingly eat on a Christmas morning because I refuse to eat food. Would I be the asshole if I bailed on the party this year?
That is really funny. Well, I must say, as two people who throw a cookie swap, we did not have that experience. We had a couple people do it. They brought some like gluten-free, dairy-free, and they were not gluten-free or dairy-free. They just bring these cookies and you're like, what? But a lot of people brought some really good ones. So my instinct is to be kind of like, maybe we need to get some other people in the mix of this party that are a little more fun. But I also think, now it would be one thing if you're really triggered by this. If like you have had a bad relationship with food and going to this party feels just like really bad. I get that.
Yeah, if it feels like eating disorder central and you're like, I can't be here.
I can't be there.
Stop going.
Stop going for sure. But if you're not feeling that way and you just feel general annoyance about you having to work hard on these cookies that are so good and you receiving the cookies that are bad, I think you just have to remember it's about spending time with people, and it's really not about the cookies. It's about the friends you made along the way, and the cookies are just a catalyst for the friendship. Now, if you don't want to be friends with people who make disgusting cookies, I think you need to bail on the party. And I do get that. And I do find it overwhelming going to a party with only people that are like that. But if that's not bothering you, it's just the fact that you have to go home with these lame cookies, throw them in the trash, and just remember the good conversations you had.
Do not take the cookies home. If you like the party, go to the party. And then be like, so much fun. Actually, try not to eat cookies in the house right now, or whatever little excuse you need to make up.
Yeah, they'll love that.
And just don't take the cookies home.
Yes. Also, make yourself a second batch of your cookies.
Yeah.
Leave them at the house, and then you come home to those and then pretend you won those. I also think it feels really weird for this group of people to throw a cookie swap, because it feels like they're trying to do something fun, but they absolutely cannot eat a cookie without freaking out. But they still have been like, we have to throw a cookie party because that's what we do. It's like, throw a different party. Yeah. Also, like, white elephant with cookies doesn't feel as fun to me.
Wow, I disagree. I heard that idea and I say, genius, I want to do it. Because what I hate about white elephant is that one person gets an iPad and one person gets single ply toilet paper. And I do not like that. It feels mean-spirited. It feels bad. It feels weird. It feels awkward. I hate white elephant and things of that nature. But if it was a cookie white elephant, they're all just flavors of cookies.
Well, but I don't think I'd be as engaged. I think what's so fun about white elephant is you're like, what is gonna come out of that bag? What are they gonna get? Like, that feels fun to me. I also don't think I would be as passionate about the swapping unless I was at a party like this, because I would just be like, well, I can buy any cookie I want. I don't really need whatever.
But they're homemade.
But I also think at a good white, that's true. I think at a good white elephant, you're supposed to have a cap on how much you can spend. What I will say, I think white elephant is something that becomes less fun when people are, here's what I'll say.
Say it.
I've been to white elephant parties with a bunch of college students when I was in, back in school. I would go to White Elephants, and it felt bad because we were all struggling financially. So it really was important what you got to take home. And even though we were all trying to be mature, there were feelings of like someone would get a $25 gift card, and we would all really not want it but need it, and then someone would get toilet paper. And there was a lot of anxiety with the switching. Then I went home with a friend for the holidays one year, and it was a little bit wealthier group of adults, but also adults in general. They were like in their 40s and 50s, and they all had the same job since they were 20, and they all were well off. That was a very fun one because it just didn't matter. So when someone got toilet paper, it was funny because they already had iPads. You know what I mean? More fun vibe. That advice didn't really help, but I just like, if you're planning a White Elephant, I find that one more fun.
Okay.
Because sometimes, one time I did a White Elephant, I got a flower pot that had a little girl on a boat in it. And I thought that was so fun.
I don't like that. Kendahl, I want to know, do you have a holiday Am I the Asshole that you want to propose?
Ooh. Oh, man. I have to like think through who I know that listens to this podcast. You know what I mean?
You want to say something bad about somebody?
No. Just like I'm trying to think of moments. Or would it be a past moment maybe it was or was not an asshole, or something I could think of now?
I have one.
Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I want to know, am I the asshole? Because I proposed last Christmas morning. And that morning I woke up. You're still asleep. I'm nervous about proposing. Not nervous. I'm excited. Like nervous excitement.
Yeah.
I open my phone. The first 8 videos on my TikTok. You seem nervous.
No, I'm just listening.
Are you scared I'm going to be like, am I the asshole for proposing to Kendahl?
No, I assume that's the question.
The first 5 videos on my TikTok are like, if I ever got proposed to on a holiday, I would say no, because that is ridiculous, disgusting behavior.
You're not an asshole.
And I was like, is this a thing? Are you not supposed to propose on a holiday?
I would understand. I wouldn't understand. I would still not be bothered by this. In fact, I think this sounds kind of nice. But I can understand if you are a person who's imagined your proposal your entire life, and you've imagined the day of the engagement, that you wake up on Christmas morning, all your cousins are there. Every aunt you've ever had is there. All your uncles, in-laws are there. All the kids are opening presents. It's all about the children. They're opening everything. And then you get proposed to. It takes away from your day a little bit. When you proposed to me, it was the two of us. It was very sweet. I didn't respond well. I was very scared. And
You were scared?
I was scared. I've told you this. I was scared that I was going to mess up.
Oh, you were scared that I wasn't actually proposing.
Yes, I was scared that, I don't know. You go to, obviously when I say it out loud, it sounds insane. But I opened the box, and Jordan and I had picked out our engagement rings together. So I knew this was my engagement ring. But I was worried I was going to be like, yes. And you're going to be like, oh, I'm not proposing. This is just the ring. Which, yeah, that's nuts. But at 7 a.m., I thought that.
Sure.
And I have insecurities, okay? I maybe was like, what if you don't want to marry me? I was nervous. But so I responded a bit bizarrely. But we were by ourselves, and then we went to Palm Springs together. I mean, that is so special and wonderful, and I adore Christmas Day, so it's always something I'll fondly look back on. But I think when people are saying that, they mean like, I don't want anything to take away from my day kind of person, and I just don't really care about that.
I was just shocked. I did it because I was going to do it. I was going to take you to Europe because you love Christmas.
I love it.
I was going to take you to Europe, take you to an old-timey Christmassy theme park in Copenhagen, propose to you there,
but we are
on one of the rides.
We are going to go there, right?
And we are going to go there.
So maybe I give you a little speech. Maybe I propose to you.
Okay. We're already engaged.
I know, but I'll take your ring back and do a little speech for you.
All right. That's a real comedy of errors. You drop it into some kind of grate, and then that's what I'm imagining.
Oh, God, you're right. Okay. What if I win a little ring from like a game?
That's fun.
And then I propose.
I think that's fun.
Is it sweet that I'm planning it out and explaining it all to you?
I think that's great. But I was like, we'll have this fun Christmas proposal, but then I had to have surgery on both my feet, so I just proposed to you at home. But you love Christmas, so I thought this could be a fun thing. Now, every time it's the Christmas season, you think about our engagement.
I know. I think it's so sweet.
But I could not believe how, and of course, it's like you hear things or have thoughts, and then your phone absorbs them, and then it shows you worst case scenario. So it was just like a bunch of people I follow, people that I think are cool, being like, here are my list of yeses and nos for my engagement. If you ever propose to me on a holiday, I will dump you. I was like, Should I wait until tomorrow?
I have an Am I the Asshole?
Let me hear it.
Am I the asshole that every single time I gift someone a present and they're opening it, I have to say, this is from me 8 times?
Yes, you are the
I
asshole.
have to go, by the way, this is for me. I need people to know, but it's not even just me. I need people to know who, because I'll also go, this is from Jordan. This is from Colin. I do it with everybody. I need present opening to be focused. I cannot have people just ripping crap open and being like, cool. It's like I need it to be a connected moment between the two people, the gift giver and the gift receiver, and I need them to know before they open it, because the wrapping is part of it too. I put a lot of time into my wrapping. I need them to know this is not, I don't want you to open it and then go, who is this from? I need you to be opening it going, this is from Kendahl. And I know I can hear it being so annoying when it happens. Birthdays, Christmas, it's always me in the corner going, that's from Andrew. And then this is from me. This one's from me. Hey, this is from me.
I like it. I think it's cute and I like it and I think it's useful. But I do think you're also an asshole.
But it's not just for me. I just want everyone to know I don't like chaotic gift opening. It really annoys me. It irritates me. It makes me be like, you ungrateful little bitches.
I guess maybe it's a little controlling.
Sure. But I think maybe not, because I don't find myself to be very controlling. But I think it feels disrespectful.
It's so funny to be like, I do controlling things, but I don't see myself as controlling. So that means I'm not.
I just find it to be rude to open a gift without. But I also, if I'm opening a present, I hate when people aren't looking at me, which I think is normal. You're opening a present. So if I'm opening a present and then everyone's like gabbing, I will go, this one's from Colin, this one's from Jordan. Because I'm like, focus up, you guys.
Or sometimes you'll even go, okay, present time. That's a big one you say.
Focus
okay,
up.
Present time. Time for presents. Present time.
Focus. I'm like, focus up, you guys. Someone spent time picking this out for me. Watch me open it.
Sure.
Okay, we've decided I am the asshole.
Only a little bit. And I think it's fun. I think it's fun, asshole.
Someone needs to keep things going on holidays. Or it will be canceled. When I see families where the kids run down and just rip open the presents, I'm like, you are raising bad people.
Wow.
I'm just kidding, not bad people, but you're raising kids who don't think they need to thank anyone. They're not acknowledging the time that went into the wrapping.
Sure.
They're not patient to watch their other siblings open their presents and be happy for them. I find it deeply upsetting and problematic.
I don't feel like I've ever really experienced this.
I've seen it. I've seen it online, Jordan.
To me, it feels like growing up, opening presents was a performance.
Well, there was one of you, so that feels like it was just actually kind of rude for you to act like I'm being so crazy for having people watch me, but you always had people watching you because it was just you.
It makes sense why you would have done it when you were younger, but it's still funny to do it now when it's like you and me in our house with like Charles, our roommate, and you're like, present time, look at me. I'm like, there's 2 of us and we are already looking at you.
But if you're not, I have to say, you guys, please. Also, it's funny. I'll do it with you and Charles if I just get a delivery. Like I've ordered.
Present time.
I don't think. But if I've ordered myself something and then I'm like, oh, I got something in the mail. Ooh, everybody look. I love for people to see me open something.
It's such a funny desire.
I also think, to me, so much time goes in. I have not experienced this, but parents take so much time planning and buying and wrapping the presents. And when I was growing up, it was like we would pass out a present to each person. We would go around and each person would open it.
We did that too.
And then you pass it out again and then each person would open it. You would watch each person open it. And it makes it, we would be opening presents. Even if we didn't have that many, we'd be opening presents for at least an hour and a half, sometimes 3 hours, because we're taking so much time. We're taking a photo of each person with each one. We're talking about, here's how I found this one. I was, and it's
you have to show it.
Show it.
Oh, show it. Show it. Which is once again very funny because my family's just me and my parents. So
they bought it. Now you've seen it. Yeah. But it'd be like, where did you find it? Why did you think I thought you'd like it? It's so fun. Versus like I've seen some parents where like I'm like, this took them 2 months, and their kids have just or some parents don't wrap.
My parents occasionally would not wrap a couple things.
Big items.
Well, this was my family's
My pogo stick or something, maybe not.
Wrapped gifts were from my parents. Unwrapped gifts were from Santa.
She said Santa's lazy.
She said Santa can't do half the things I can do, is what my mom said. But yeah, the gifts from Santa were just kind of like out. And then gifts from my parents were wrapped.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
I've heard a lot of people my age disagree about this. Would you tell your kids Santa exists?
I would. And I know it's controversial. Once again, you live your best life. For me as an adult looking back, I say I had so much fun doing Santa.
Fun.
My
So
parents
fun.
would leave little white strands of hair to pretend it was Santa's beard hair. So I could really be like,
Ew.
oh, it was fun.
That's really
It was,
gross.
it was fun and good. It'd be like a little beard hair right next to the plate of cookies. It would be good.
Where did they get Is it your dad?
I think my mom would cut a little hair off a wig.
It was definitely your dad's
No.
hair. She'd say,
No,
Will, come here.
My dad's
Chip
hair's
chop.
too straight. My dad's hair's too
He
straight.
was curly. That's disgusting.
I think it's cute.
He said, and then they leave a little reindeer shit in the hallway.
Kendahl, you're disgusting. Don't ruin this beautiful thing. It would just be like a
No,
little
that's very
curly
cute.
lock of hair. It would be cute. And they would leave like crumbs on the plate from the cookies
It's
and
fun.
whatever. And very much make it seem like, oh, Santa was here. So for me, I'm like, those experiences were so fun. I had so much fun with them. Then when I found out Santa wasn't real, my mom was just kind of like, oh yeah, that's just like a fun thing that people do with their kids. It's part of your imagination and it's fun. And you don't get to do it when you're older. So you get to do it when you're younger.
Right.
And I was kind of like, okay. And for like 2 seconds, I was like, how could you? And then I immediately forgot about it and like moved on to the next thing.
It's so fun. I would definitely tell my kids there was a Santa. I think it's so fun. And I also I feel like the main argument I hear is people are like, I don't want to lie to my kid because I need my kid to know that they can trust me and I'm not lying to them. And I'm like, if your kid doesn't trust you after you tell them Santa isn't real, that's a good thing for you to know something might be off with your kid. You know what I mean?
Like long term if they don't trust you?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
they're that untrustworthy. That means you don't blame this on Santa. You've been
Maybe there's some other
untrustworthy
stuff
with
going
other
on.
stuff. I never thought to not trust my mom. I mean, I found out Santa was not real very early.
Because you have older siblings.
No.
Oh.
I just guessed it. I swear, my mom, it was actually, I think I've told you this, but there was a year where my mom, let me know if I'm telling this story completely wrong, because this is from my memory. My mom...
That's the hardest thing about getting older. She'll tell these stories and then your parents will be like, that did not happen.
That did not happen. I'm like, I've told this to hundreds
Yeah.
of people.
You're like, okay.
And why do I remember it? Like, I don't know, but this is how I remember it. And I'm pretty sure how my mom has told it. But I wanted this, if I remember correctly, this like, it was like a treehouse wooden doll set that had like wooden people in it, whatever. Sold out, supposedly.
Sure.
So my mom, very fun, makes like a letter from the elves, and it was like typed out, and it was like, Kendahl, we're so sorry. We ran out of paint this year, so we weren't able to make this for you,
So sweet.
but we're gonna make it soon and send it your way the second a new shipment comes in of paint. Like, it's very cute. And I was like 3 or 4, and I went up to my mom and I was like, hey, I was very level-headed as a kid. I was like, hey, Santa just like wouldn't run out of paint. That's like not how the workshop really works.
Sure.
So I just don't think maybe he's real. And she was like, yeah, he's not real. And then I wish I'd thought Santa was real longer. And I even remember thinking that as a kid, because then I went to school and my mom was very like, you cannot tell any children that Santa's not real. And I was always bummed. You know, we'd write letters to Santa in class and everyone was so excited. And I was like, oh my God, this is
It's
so
fun. I'm
fun.
also, even as an adult, I'm like, I like to pretend things are real. You cannot tell me the Muppets are puppets. The Muppets are people. Miss Piggy, Kermit, Animal, those are beings.
I don't like the look in your eyes when you talk about this. You get a weird glisten in your eyes.
But do you know what I mean? I'm like, it's fun
It's
to
imagination.
have fun. It's fun to have imagination. And if you're honest with your kids about everything and you're upfront with your kids and you pretend Santa is real, sometimes in my mind, I'm still like, Santa is real. Santa is a man at the North Pole. I know it's not real, but in my mind, I still picture
fun.
Santa in the North Pole.
Yes,
because it's
yes.
fun.
I will tell you the second best day of my life. First day, when I met you.
The best day of your life was meeting
Maybe
me?
proposing. I've had a lot of good days with you, is what I'll
Yeah.
say.
Okay.
Second one, when I would walk into my damn classroom in elementary school and my teacher would have messed everything up and there was green glitter everywhere and she would say, a leprechaun broke into the classroom. I would lose it. All the kids would be like, oh my God. Like, we are freaking out. It's the
fun.
most exciting thing ever. what even does that mean? A leprechaun broke into the class? Like, is that offensive? I don't even know. I don't know
why? Like, what did he have going on? Like,
and he didn't steal anything. He just messed everything up. Like, it was so exciting.
Yeah, I'm just like, let's just have fun. And Santa Claus was a real person at one point, right? St. Nicholas, wasn't that a real person? Maybe not. Maybe just, I don't know. Was Krampus a real person? I don't know. None of it matters.
Well, and then I've heard some people say, well, it's scary to kids. It's scary to kids because the kids think a man is breaking their house. And I'm like, once again, good thing for you to know, your kid maybe needs to get it together.
I have generalized anxiety disorder and have always been very anxious. I did not think a man was breaking into my home. I didn't even think about that. I didn't even know what break-ins were. So I'm like, yeah, maybe if your house has been broken into like a bunch of times and that's triggering to your kid, maybe just put the presents outside. Be like, Santa leaves the presents outside.
Burglaries.
Santa leaves the presents outside, and that's fine. Santa puts the presents in the car, and you leave all the presents in the trunk of the car. I think there's a lot of ways to get around it, and I think that's fine. But I was always just like, Santa is a friend. He's not a random man.
Yeah.
Santa has a job. That would be like if the mailman was delivering mail to my house and I was like, I'm scared. He's breaking into my mailbox. No, that's the mailman. That's his job.
Yeah.
Well, we
Happy
solved
holidays.
it. Have a great holiday season. Like we said, we are off next week. We hope you do something good.
But follow us on Instagram because we're going to be posting so much fun stuff. I mean, we're going to be going all over Europe, kissing.
Calling a bunch of perverts to follow us. Well, we'll be kissing all over
I
Europe.
pictured us in the snow. I'm just so excited. I'm like so excited. So follow us on Instagram for some cute pictures and stories and all the food we're going to eat. Oh my God, we're going to have so much good food.
Take care of yourself this holiday season. If you spend time with your family, I hope it's enjoyable. If you spend time by yourself, I hope it's enjoyable. And consider donating to some kind of charity, whether it's within your own community, an Indigenous and Native related charity.
Whoa, there we go.
Lots of good things you could do for a holiday that is bad.
Right. Yeah, 100%.
Just eat a bunch of potatoes and donate $150 to a Native charity. That's what I think you should do this week.
I love that. I think that's wonderful.
That's what I think you should do this week.
Yeah, enjoy your week. Weather's finally cooling down, at least in Los Angeles, although it's pretty hot today. Don't look at me like that.
We're recording in the Spotify studios.
Enjoy my radio host outro, Jordan. It's relaxing.
We gotta get to some stuff we need to get to. We're recording in the Spotify studios, which we always record in. We absolutely love them. You can find this podcast here on YouTube or anywhere else you get your podcasts. You can also join us on Patreon. You get ad-free episodes. You get free monthly episodes. We're also implementing a lot of fun stuff in 2025, as we said. And like, comment, subscribe, rate us. Live your best life.
Woo!
We'll see you in December.
Bye.